So today we are at Spring Rock. We come here every year and we like it here for a number of reasons. Andrew does an awful lot of work down here to make our lives easier, and his life easier to be fair, by draining the lakes. It's in a lovely valley near Ryder. It's just a beautiful place, just hills everywhere. I do love it here because it's Wales. And he's got these lovely pods around the lakes which he builds himself. He hires them out and he drains the lakes. They're very shallow, very shallow. 3 degrees here today. We've come from the other side of Essex yesterday, or South End, so we've basically come from pretty much as far as you can go one way. Now we're slap bang in the middle of Wales. Here come the dogs, and it's lovely. And this is the first lake, which he drained just below the reeds, so it makes a hell of a difference. Hello, lovely. Hello. Here they come. You're still about. Hello, mate. Hello, lovely. Yeah, so he drains it below the reeds, which means we can catch the small fish and move them out of here, put them in the bottom lake, and vice versa. Switch around. It does make a big difference when you're trying to catch small fish. Just get it below the reeds. Completely fringed with plants, nice and cold, no oxygen issues. It's just tidy, clean, well managed. You can't beat this. Just fringed with really good plants. And there's dogs. Hello, mate. Look at him. He's handsome. Look at him. He's handsome. Yeah, mate. So yeah, we do this one first and then start moving some fish around. It's good fun. And the reason we can get both lakes done in a day is you can rush. If the lake's full and it's up to all these plants, you know, you're rushing to do 2 in a day, simply because the main aim is to try and reduce the numbers of small fish. But because Andrew drains it, you can see the tiny fish. Again, there's shallow clay ponds, so, and he feeds them. That combination of completely fringed with plants everywhere, and he trims it down as well. So when you look at this, people say, oh, it's barren. I don't know what they're on about. We always advise people trims the plants down to get great regrowth the following year. It's a bit of effort, but the difference it makes is quite phenomenal. It makes it pop. Come the spring, all these plants come up. It's always worth trimming your plants. It gets more thicker vegetation. You blitz them down. Like I say, everything rots away anyway and goes into the lake, but when you blitz it, it just all happens quicker. And then come the following year, it all just builds up quicker. Obviously the islands make it a bit more tiresome because you've got to work around all the islands, and that's normally when you lose fish, just simply because you've got to manoeuvre nets around and around, and you wouldn't have time. If we were only doing one lake, you could spend a lot more time electrofishing. If it was full, you'd lane it all off, electrofish, spend the whole day doing this as thoroughly as possible. But because the water's low, drop below the plants, the fish have got less places to hide. It's actually healthy as well for a lake to have a water change. It really is, just like a garden pond really. So it really doesn't hurt. But again, you'll notice there's no actual bank erosion anywhere on this lake, just using plants. The plants, even though there's slightly, the roots get undercut with a fish roof, that's only the roots undercut, if you see what I mean. It's not actually into the clay. So I'll be fringing all your lakes with suitable vegetation. I mean, it looks barren now, but you look at it in May, June, July, August, September, it just looks a picture. People say, oh, there's no trees, but there was no trees here anyway. It's like when people put gravel in. I've seen people put gravel in lakes that are clay. It's like, well, it's a clay lake, what are you putting gravel in there for? Oh yeah, carpy. But at the end of the day, this was just nothing. It's just a grass field. So now it's a functioning, sustainable fishery, some nice carp in. Again, the first time I came down here, it looked different because Andrew's reshaped it. He's pretty handy with the digger, and like I say, he builds his own cabins. But the first time I came down, he'd bought some lovely fish off Viv, stocked them, and we couldn't catch them. We were netting, couldn't catch them. I said, well, I'm not, you know, I said, you never catch all of them, but I'd have expected to catch some. But then I went out on the island, which was a big central island, and there were just carcasses everywhere, all on the island in different states of decay, and the otters had just been in and annihilated them, unfortunately. But a lot of people, it takes them back years, and they sort of, you know, just use it as an excuse to not carry on. And Andrew's just grabbed it and just developed it, and now the fish are doing really well. Doesn't stock all the time, just one stock in, and everything else has just come from that. So yes, he feeds the fish, which is why they're all in really, really good condition. And all we do is move small fish from here into there, big fish from there into here. And then they pass a health check as well, so occasionally he'll sell a few of the crucians, because the crucians do really well. So yeah, this is a really good blueprint on how to just set up relatively small clay ponds, but do them properly, you know. We do like coming back. I mean, it's a beautiful setting anyway. Sun's going to come up, beautiful day. But you cannot beat this. You just can't. And it's, like I say, aesthetics isn't the reason. It's just a handy byproduct, if you like. It looks pretty in the summer, but it's actually the last reason why we do it. We do it for all the other benefits that we keep preaching about until the day I die. But oh, I just farted then. So yeah, we shoot only fine mesh, all 8mm, and then we just shoot it all around the islands. Quite intricate. Land one net this side, one net the other side, one down the bottom. Then we chuck a couple of nets over the bank there. I drive round. You've got to be on the ball. I mean, we were at R7, and you just keep moving really. We don't tend to stop for lunch and stuff. Angie gets a cup of tea, all very nice. But the whole point of trying to get 2 lakes like this done in a day, which we don't mind doing, but when we turn up and someone wants you to do 2 lakes and they're not drained, you know, you're like, well, you're rushing then. They think they're getting oh yeah, I want to do as much as possible. Well, it all varies on the lake. So if the lakes are really easy to net and it's just a bowl, then obviously you can do 2 or 3 in a day if they're small. But when it's like this, getting the water down means we can do both in a day. And yeah, it's good. And you can see the progress every year. It's all good. Help the boys and we'll get going. It's very shallow. He's drained it. Which, like I say, does make it easier. Fish are really active. Like I say, it's been really warm and mild. And then yesterday and today here has been lovely. A bit colder. There's a couple of deep holes. There's a few carp holes where the fish just sit. And obviously these channels are a bit, yeah, you can see the fish here that are moving around. In here. So we don't catch all the big ones doing this, because if you had the day, you'd spend the whole day on here and you catch all of them because it's drained. There's no excuse really. You just keep doing loads and loads of sweeps, but really we're trying to cover both of them in a day. And as long as we relieve the pressure on these a bit, because the carp are growing really, really well. Nice bit of weight gain and all in good condition, which is the main thing. Again, it's just work. Andrew's here all the time, keeping an eye on the otters and everything else. But yeah, it's all good, all worth the work, all worth the effort. endless benefits. It's all helping the water quality, all of it. You just can't beat it. I know it's effort. There's some places they go, oh, we try, but the geese pulled them up. Well, we bang on about the bloody geese all the time. You've got to keep on top of them, but the effort is worth the reward or whatever. With all the issues a lot of people have had the last couple of months with low oxygen, these are the things that can make a difference long term. Plants, funnily enough, looking after and maintaining decent vegetation, really massive differences long term. And yes, this benefits from not having tons of trees around it, because a lot of places when they have the extreme amounts of trees which they just refuse to do anything with, thinking it's nature, blah blah blah. Well, a lot of these places are really learning now that if it's mild, unseasonably mild, and the it's 10-12 degrees water temperature still, and then you're inundated with horrendous amounts of trees and they're all falling, the leaf drop happens when it's still quite mild. Obviously, the milder it is, the warmer it is, the warmer the water is, there's more demand for oxygen across the board of everything, so everything needs more oxygen. And then if you've got a lake with no plants, tons of trees, loads of brambles and crap around the margins, what do you think is going to happen? Unfortunately, a lot of people learn the hard way. And all we try and do is to explain to people there are other ways. We're all about saving fish, not mucking about. So like I say, we've blanked this out already, and then that means we got enough net then to come into this bay. It's very shallow, you can wade all around here, and then pull it into that corner there, first one. Cut the leads all the way around because it's nice and uniform. Quite a few deeper bits of holes, and cut the carp have obviously made their own holes. But yeah, it's not a bad view. Imagine coming and staying in one of these pods. All the fish are in really good nick. Imagine waking up here and fishing here, and you've got this to wake up to. It's pretty lovely. Obviously this has all been trimmed. You've got to remember that. People go, oh, it looks rubbish. Yeah, you come and look at it in June. There's always method in the madness. Oh yeah. When you've got the net here, quite often you'll see a fish here. And people say, oh, he's got out, well the net is back here. I'm still like that. The net is under my feet. Right in the clay, digging in. So it's right back here. Net back to here. And the trick is, obviously, to cut the lead line underneath that. I mean, to be fair, some places there's a dab chick there. Some places it's amazing we catch anything with the undulating bottoms and weed and stuff. But you just have a method and you just be as thorough as you can. Getting here early always helps. Quite often, like yesterday in Essex, Southend, by getting there at 7:30 in the morning, just as it's starting to get like this, just a tiny bit of sun, because it's really shielded, it's in a little dip and it's just choked with trees. Water quality is pretty poor, but I had just a tiny little glimpse and there was little fish topping in one part of the lake. So I buggered a net. We were lucky in the fact that we got a net round them first thing before they, obviously there's no cormorants thankfully in the morning, and we got a net round them, and we caught 700 pounds of silvers, the most I've ever caught in that lake. Tons of nice looking bream, loads of carp and bits and pieces. So it was good to show the club that, because we know they're in there, but you sometimes with these clubs you've actually physically got to show them what's going on, otherwise they just want to buy more fish all the time. Luckily lakes like this, you don't need more fish, to the point where now we're taking fish out. And like I say, this is just one of many type of fisheries we work at. This is a private venue for holidays in Wales, and it's nice just to have seen it develop over the years. But like I say, you're seeing it in the winter when it's trimmed, so look online, you'll see what it looks like in the summer. This is a little dab chick. We love these. We see them quite a lot. They're so awesome. Look how big his feet are, look, for swimming. They're absolutely wonderful. And we love these. Such a cool little bird. Look, that's as big as they get. They're just awesome. We quite often find them. They love it. Nice. I know I'm always out of breath on these little clips, but I'm not just mucking around filming, we're working, so I'm running around. Tiny little fry in this corner, just scaring out. I just want to show you, when people dig lakes and they worry too much, oh, we want contours for the anglers. Fish make their own, not just carp. Obviously carp are like a herd of bloody cattle grazing, but if you look where Chip is, hey mate, yee. Where Chip stood now, it's rock hard. Obviously if they're fishing from this peg here, this is a little spot where they're putting bait. If you stand up, so he's on the deck, yeah, just show, and this, the carp have made that. So you look how much of a difference it is. Quite amazing. So the carp have just hollowed out. It's very common, see it a lot. So it's not, yeah. And that's just what we call a carp hole. And the carp just love it coming in here, keeping that clear. So even if you create a very flat bottom lake, they will create their own holes. It's just what they do. Yeah, it's good. But again, if it was full and we couldn't actually wade there, they'll sit in there sometimes and they're buggers to get out. People think they just swim away, but they spend a lot of time in these holes. All good. Nice problem to have. 3, 2, 1. Looking pretty good. Yeah, you really are. Don't go back in. We see this quite a lot where, first thing, where the sun's hitting that bank, we can caught very few small fish over there, like minimal, like a handful of these. You see 1 or 2 have been escaped from the cormorant. And then this side, where it's shielded from the sun, but it's the last place the sun would have hit last night, is where these little babbies are. And these are right in the margins, right in the edge. Now, if he hadn't got the water down, we just wouldn't have caught them. You can muck it, electrofishing is pointless. So labour intensive for such little reward. But by getting the water down, there's £120 of fish in here, plus another £100 we've taken out. Like I say, it's a carp lake. By only having carp, then you do get recruitment. Because a lot of people will say, why don't my carp breed? Well, they do breed, but they get eaten by all the other fish and the carp themselves. But by feeding the fish, and only having carp in here, the other lake's different, we'll show you, there's multiple species in there, it's lovely. But in here, to try and grow big carp on, if there's any carp, then obviously that's what will breed. So by taking these tinies out, because if we leave these in, we won't have caught them all, they'll be this size easily by the summer. So just by constantly, again, creating space, and it also means you've got your own supply of carp, the long term it'll dig another pond. So the whole thing about restocking all the time. And there's cormorants here, everyone gets cormorants, it's easy to blame cormorants, but we all get that. But when you can produce your own fish, like I say, it won't look like a lot of weight of these, but in reality, you know, 10 pound of these could be 1,000 fish, more than that. And that's a lot of numbers to come out. Plus there's a good 40-50 pound more of these little fellas. And there's the odd one with marks on because that's the size of the cormorant trying to eat. So it's really working well. And you can see that by the condition of the fish, getting it drained, the plants, everything he's doing is working really, really well. And it's sustainable because he gets back every year. We drain the lakes, net the lakes, crop out these. You can keep doing that. So you don't need to keep buying fish. You've always got a ready supply of fish. And the other lake's just the same, just with multiple species, including some stupidly big crucians, which hopefully we'll catch later. But it's really, really good stock progression, and it shows what you can achieve if you put the graft in. Any club can do this, any lake can do this. Massive fish, there'll be a good head of 30-pound fish in here by the end of next summer. And considering it hasn't taken very long, you know, a lot of people buying huge fish. All right, we've sold some big fish in a time, but if you can do it like this, it's safe, it's easy, and you've got to keep on top of them, keep on top of the birds, the otters, people. So netted 1/2. Islands are obviously tricky, but we've netted 1/2, and people say crucians are rare. That's all nonsense. We know these are pure because they come from this stock. And Andrew's now created, again it comes down to a number of things, but when you've got vegetation like this and he feeds them, endless supply of pure crucian carp. And this is just scraping the surface of the 2 bins. There's probably 600 pound of them. I'll grade these back in. I've fed up with people saying, oh, they're so rare. Farmed them for 20 years before, and it's just, they're not. They're tough as old boots. They're easy to breed. When they're on their own, they fly. If you get an angling club, they'll buy 100 this size, put them in a 2-acre lake full of roach and bream and F1s, and they go, oh, we don't see them cruising. It's like, no. Well, you do it like this, you generate your enough stocks forever, and it's absolutely a pleasure. He works hard to keep the birds under control, and the carp are breeding as well. It's all good. This is what you can achieve with a bit of work and a plan. Time next year, these will be health checked, and these are pure crucians, and Andrew will be selling lots and lots and lots of these. And there's an endless supply of them because he's doing it all properly, and they're beautiful fish. Last year we took a picture of a couple over 3 pounds in this pond, so they're doing very, very well. But if you need to buy any, give Andrew a ring at Spring Rock and he can sort you out. Pure crucians. So when you're grading these back, look at these. They're just perfect crucians. Hundreds and hundreds of perfect. These are going back in the pond. When you're grading these are getting put in other ponds, grow on and then sell. So I say, anyone who wants pure crucians, you're never going to be short of them here. It takes a lot of hard work to keep the cormorants at bay, but when you get results like this, it's worth it every time. You never get bored of these. So we've got fish here for health check. Finished now. But yeah, there is hundreds and hundreds of pounds weight of quality crucians in this pond here. And loads of other fish, but the crucians are really the star attraction. It annoys you because people say, oh, there ain't no places, come here, fish on there, fucking stacks of them. But there's a reason for that. Keep the birds off them, loads of habitat for them, and food.